turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiberhoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. Ken's Den, Tuesday, 8 to 10. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
stop or whatever.
8:11 on the nose here on this 11th day of September in the year 2018. Anno Domini, this is the Denken's done.
The views expressed by the host during his monologue are those solely of his own, not those of Westfield State University, WSKB, the radio club, our underwriters, or the people walking by the window. And now...
You know what, Pete?
What's going on, Ken?
Read the disclaimer twice for this one.
Uh-oh. The views expressed by the host are those solely of his own, not those of Westfield State, the radio club, the underwriters, or those of us in this room about to be ranted upon. And now...
I've never owned a pair of Nikes.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, here we go again. Oh no.
And believe me, Kaepernick has nothing to do with it. First, let me say that I get his cause. He is against police brutality against minorities. Hell, I'm against police brutality against anyone. Sadly, police brutality exists, and it shouldn't. And sometimes what looks like brutality can be self-defense or a cop doing their job properly, but you'll never know because only half a video recording from one perspective exists. Mm-hmm. So let's side with the bad guys, okay? I think Kaepernick needs a better PR person, or at least needed a better PR person, or a smarter PR person. There are many ways you go about bringing your cause to the public without pissing off millions of people. You could have had more people on your side. Mm-hmm. Instead, you look anti-American. Mm-hmm. I'm certainly not going to do business with a company if it looks like their has-been football player mascot hates America.
That's not true.
Bob, I said it looks like he hates America.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he didn't say does.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't disrespect all the people who have fought for our freedom so that we can hear the national anthem, perhaps his cause would be doing much better. You really blew it on this one, Colin. Yes, I know it's your right. But just because it is your right does not make it right. Elementary school kids are taking a knee in class now. Not because they are supporting your cause, but because they saw you do it. They don't understand the depth of the cause you were attempting to push. Kids look up to you. You should have been leading by example. And now, you are just a real-life Al Bundy. You sucked at football, and now you sell shoes.
I got that joke.
I have seen people say on social media that they are going to buy Converse shoes now instead of Nikes. Well, guess what? Same company. I wonder what's going on in Washington right now. Everybody is going nuts over sneakers. But that is a conspiracy theory for another morning.
Oh, no.
And then there are the people who have said that they are going to burn their Nikes. Okay. That does nothing to the company.
Bad for the environment.
It does not affect their numbers. You already own them. They don't care what you do with them. You may as well just take a Hyundai and flush it right down the porcelain throne. Or better yet, give it to me. NFL viewership is down. On average by about 10% for every game. Which means advertising dollars don't go as far. Mm-hmm. Reports have attributed this to the protests during the national anthem. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get my head around Nike's thinking when I see these numbers. Perhaps they believe in playing against the odds? Tiger Woods, the womanizing pro golfer that Nike gave millions of dollars to, said Kaepernick's ad campaign is a beautiful spot. I can't wait to see who they use next. But back to what I said earlier. I've never even owned a pair of Nikes. I can never find a pair that fit right. Mm-hmm. Other brands run wider.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever, ever buy a product because of who a company puts up as a spokesperson or mascot. Mm-hmm. Paid celebrities have nothing to do with the product. But I may decide not to buy from a company if they put someone in my face that comes off as anti-American and a cop hater. That's a free market, baby. All of the commotion caused by the Kaepernick ad has done what Nike intended, to bring attention to their brand.
Yeah, they scored.
And is it going to help or hurt them? Well, when the Q4 numbers come in early 2019, we'll know. You know, some of my listeners may disagree with me, and some may agree with me. And that's okay. We can't all agree that the color purple is an awesome color. This is no different. And at the end of the day, I'll still speak to you if you're wearing Nikes or Converse or Jordans. All the same company. I won't think any differently of you. But here's some food for thought for you. If these companies whose products you already like and will go out to buy more of stop spending millions of dollars on paid mascots, perhaps the average cost of a pair of Nikes will go down from $100 to $80. They already only cost an average of $28.50 per pair from the time they are manufactured in a sweatshop with child labor to the time they come to land on our shores. The markup from cost to wholesale is already at 43%. Do the math. Ronald McDonald does not sway your decision to get a Big Mac over a Whopper. He is out there. You know about him. You know he represents the food chain, and he does not get paid. Let me ask you something. Has any athlete or paid spokesman ever persuaded you to buy a product?
No.
No.
Has any athlete or paid spokesman ever dissuaded you from buying a product?
Yes.
I would say George Foreman persuaded a lot of people to buy stupid grills.
I own
No,
them.
those are awesome.
That could be.
I believe more people probably answered yes to the latter.
They do, yeah.
Did Nike go this route to utilize left versus right politics whilst many of their consumer base are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome?
Yep.
That is yet another conspiracy theory that needs to be left for another time. This monologue has been brought to you in part by nobody. Let's pay our bills. We'll be back right after this.
Got this in pocket, gunpowder, I'm gonna use it. Intention, I'm feeling mental, gonna make you notice. Got motion, restrained emotion, I've been driving, detour leaning, no reason, just seems so pleasing. Gonna make you notice. Gonna use my arms, gonna use my legs, gonna use my style, gonna use my side step, gonna use my fingers, gonna use my imagination. 'Cause I gonna make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me. I got rhythm, I can't miss a beat. I got new skank, sorry. I got something. When can I tell? Gonna make you notice. Gonna use my arms, gonna use my legs, gonna use my style, gonna use my side step, gonna use my fingers, gonna use my imagination. 'Cause I gonna make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me, 'cause I gonna make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me. And when you walk,
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. That's what you'll find on Ken's Den, Tuesdays from 8 till 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
$8.23 and a half.
And I'm that other half.
You weren't around last week to talk about Big Brother.
Oh my
I know,
gosh!
he had to talk
And you know,
to me
Kathy,
about it.
just when we've got about
Did you have to watch it for us?
No, but I listened
We gotta
to
talk
it.
about
I
it.
listened to it.
You had a
agree.
monologue.
I
then.
Dan, you should
I-
have come over and saved us on the green. Just walked across the
I was
street.
tempted, but then I was like, oh, they're going to be talking Big Brother. I'm not doing
yeah,
that.
I addressed the college students to the
Thanks a
PA
lot, Dan.
about Big Brother. But before we even get into Big Brother, Kathy, you thought that you were going to get a relief from this kind of stuff. We got about 2.5 weeks left of Big Brother. And
And then we're
You thought it was
going
gonna be over by now.
and that, yeah, well, it's running a little bit later than usual because they screwed around with some
Adding more people back in.
they
Are their ratings dropping?
They said,
No, they're ready.
No,
just
no,
a little more.
they're up. They're up as usual.
Yeah.
But this week
Good to know.
on the FX network, AHS American Horror Story starts up, and I found out that Bob follows that.
Oh my God!
So-
This is the first year I'm really frightened about it. American Horror
I'd
Story.
be
You
more
watch-
tempted. I have not. I've heard good things, and it's on my list of things I might try someday. But
you
I'd
have
be more
to.
tempted to watch that than Big Brother.
All right. Okay. All right. Well,
maybe.
So that's coming up. So after Big Brother, we'll be
Okay.
chatting about AHS.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Ken, I've got
Hey,
it.
Bob.
Yeah, there's a news story that is connected to Big Brother. Les Moonves
It was canceled?
With Les Moonves, you know who he is?
Moonbats.
Moonves.
Moonves.
Oh,
Moonves.
Oh,
He was the president of CBS.
He was the president.
He is a moonbat.
And who was he married to? Who is he married
Connie.
The host.
Not
No.
Connie.
The host.
to? No.
The host of Big
Why,
Brother.
why am I thinking of Connie Chung?
Yeah, no, you
that's
got
more
it totally
Republican.
wrong.
Yeah, that's more Republican.
Julie
Chen.
Julie Chen.
Oh, I didn't
He's
know
married
that.
to Julie Chen.
She's not even showing up to the View right now
No,
because
she's not.
she's so embarrassed. by
No,
this.
well, she's also could be heard,
isn't
and
that-
she could be deciding what she's going to do about
she's
her
embarrassed by
philandering husband.
Oh, really? I haven't heard.
She knew that when she
yeah.
married him. There was. He's been doing it for years.
Well, whatever it is, it's kind of an
he
embarrassment.
made her what she is today.
Well, she's
that's why
a really
that's
good-
why she stood back and said nothing and just accepted it.
She's a really good host and a wonderful person on The View, actually. But so I'm wondering whether she's going to show up. I don't think she's going. I think we're going to have a new host of Big Brother for the next. What's that?
Stand by your man.
Oh, stand by your man. I'm wondering if she's going to stand by her man or not, but she's certainly going to do it in quiet because she's not on The View talking. And The View took a really. I watched it
Wait a minute.
yesterday
She's
for this.
not on The View anyways. That's ABC.
No,
she's
she
on
is
the CBS show.
No, she is on The View.
No,
No,
she's not.
She's
oh,
on
no.
The Talk.
Oh,
She's
the
on The
talk.
Talk.
The Talk, The View. That's
Wrong
right.
net.
The
different
View.
shows?
She's on The Talk. And The Talk yesterday
much the same show
actually
anyways.
came out and.
yeah, actually, The View is worse.
But the
Yeah, if you
women on The
compare
View
them.
yesterday, I mean, The Talk.
You know what? You keep saying The View. You know, all right. If you're hearing this, all right, you're watching The View. Just a bunch of cackling chickens for an hour.
They-
Okay, plus Joy and Whoopi.
It hasn't been the same since Barbara Wawa left.
No, they have two conservatives now. They have Abby Huntsman and Meghan McCain. Both very conservative folks with the other...
That's because they were about to be canceled because they were the farthest left show on television.
And they constantly beat up on them, too.
Yeah. So
yeah.
what I'm concerned about is Julie Chen
From
will
the tolerant left.
I guarantee that Julie Chen will not be hosting Big Brother this.
I'll put money on that.
I don't think she's going to come out.
I'll put money on that she will be.
I don't think she will.
I think she will because Les Moonves is out, so that's not a big deal.
No, her husband is
He's out. He's toast.
Well, I know that. But I'm going to say, I'm putting my money on that. I'll buy you a beer.
By the way,
Heidi
from
Klum's
the
available.
audience,
Yeah.
our good friend Harry Rock says, Kenny, he'll buy you a pair of Nikes and donate them to you. So therefore, you don't have to buy your own.
I'd rather just have the money, and I'll go over to the casino and double it.
Ooh,
That'd be so much better.
All right.
So Harry, Kenny Stomsky Investments is looking for donations.
Oh my God.
And you know the casino is a very good investment. Usually,
that's
that pans out.
I'll start up a GoFundMe page. I don't want to buy Nikes. I want to buy something else. Give me money.
You probably get money for that.
Easy spirit.
Just make sure you tweet it out.
Ooh, you probably will. Hey, so they had an engagement. We had two former contestants on last
We're
night.
lost
Do you think
already.
that was
We're
a
lost.
time filler?
That was definitely a time filler. At any time it comes to do with, oh boy, I'm getting engaged, or oh boy, we just got married last week, or oh boy, we're so much in love with each other. We met each other on Big Brother. I mean, I grabbed my clicker, I hit the 30-second advance button, and I hit it about 8 times.
No, and you went right. Oh, it was charming. It was charming.
Yeah,
We had
that's
Nicole
why
and Victor
I-
from
that's
years
why I
past.
fast
Wait,
forwarded
wait,
I didn't
wait.
realize they
Well,
all had the same
What
voice.
are you even talking
Everybody
about?
stop a minute. Hold on. Everybody stop
What
a
are
minute.
we talking about?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Okay.
Exactly.
Nicole and
Okay.
Victor were
Okay.
from another season, and they
Okay.
were. He asked her to marry him
Yeah.
last night on the show.
Okay,
and
thank you.
so that was
'Cause I care,
it was
but-
a very wonderful moment. And then this season's cast got to celebrate with the
So
cast.
they had an
from-
engagement party because they're looking for ratings.
Well, it was lovely. It was really very nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, they don't need ratings. They're really high up there. So at any rate, what do you think, my friend Ken Stomsky? Which of the contestants nominated is going this week? We had, they were nominated. Haley was nominated.
Yeah, Haley is nominated, and Sam is nominated. Hillbilly Girl and Farm Girl.
Hillbilly Girl versus Farm Girl.
Yeah.
Now
I just figured that. I just realized that.
Haley is going to be, unless she wins the veto, where she takes herself off of the block, is going to be voted up. We know that Haley will be voted up
Right.
unless she wins the veto. If she wins the veto, then who would be put up? And would they put up somebody like Tyler? Would they try to?
It doesn't matter who they put up because Sam would go out.
Sam would go.
Even though she's up as a pawn, if Haley is taken down, then somebody from level 6 has to go up in her place.
Right.
And Sam is not quite level 6, so she would go.
Sam is going to go.
And that would hurt my feelings. That would make me sad, and I might even cry into my pillow.
Yeah.
I'd be so sad if Sam left because he's such a good friend to Frodo on the quest for that ring.
And on Big Brother, Sam is a woman. Sammy is a woman. She's great. And she cleans the house.
Did you
That
see
house
her
is-
at the end of the show on Sunday? Oh, geez, if I'm voted out and I look like a fool, I'm going to tear all the doors off the hinges and effing this and these mother effers. And
Yes.
she went...
Yeah, I know it.
I was
I
not
know.
expecting that out of
Me
her.
either.
My gosh.
She's a sweet woman.
Yeah, you hear her voice and you would not...
I don't know what this
You would not
program
expect
is.
violence to come out of her mouth like
That's right.
that.
How many
Apparently,
will we?
she's playing to win the game.
Yeah. Now here's the big
No.
news. Big news. Thursday night, they're evicting 2 people.
Double eviction.
A double eviction. So then
1 week of Big Brother in 40 minutes.
I'm not going to have fingernails
Oh,
left.
yeah. Next week and the week afterward are the last 2 weeks of Big Brother, right? 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
So we only have another 2 weeks to talk about this, Kath.
Oh, gee.
And then we get to talk about American Horror
How
Story.
frightened I was. Yes, yeah,
and then
yeah.
And then we'll have a couple of months of reprieve, and then hopefully winter Celebrity Big Brother.
And the good news is Stormy Daniels is going to be on the Celebrity Big Brother this
That's
year.
the good news.
Well,
Did they confirm that, or is that still a rumor?
No, it's still a rumor, but I have a feel. She said so.
Her
She
15
said,
minutes are just about up.
oh, I don't know. We've got a little
Depends
bit more
on if
time.
the lawyer's check cashes.
That's right.
right.
She'll be on The View tomorrow, incidentally, everybody.
Again,
Stormy Daniels will
Are
be
you
on
sure
The View
it's
tomorrow.
The View?
If she's on the
Yeah,
view,
yeah,
if she's on the view, her 15 minutes are almost done.
At any
All
rate.
right,
And he
so-
said she's on The View, so check out The Talk, because that's probably where she is.
Probably Judge Judy or something.
At any rate, and I'm missing the Chew.
Judge Judy.
The Chew is going off the air. Has gone off the air now. So terrible.
Just
I'm missing
switch it
the
over
Chew.
to Food Network and watch The Kitchen. Much
All
better
right,
show.
there we are.
All right, 8:32 going on to 8:33. We got our predictions in for Big Brother.
Yes.
I've got a ton of stuff for this show. It's going to be packed. Also, if I'm talking to you and all of a sudden I shut you down, I have 3 points of moments of silence this morning. Coming up, seeing it is September 11th, and we'll just deal with it. So expect that if we're in a roll. 9:33, as I said, we'll be back right after this.
Sometimes it's hard to be a woman. Give him all your love to just one man. You'll have bad times, and he'll have good times, doing things that you don't understand. But if you love him, you'll forgive him, even though he's hard to understand. And if you love him, oh, be proud of him, 'cause after all, he's just a man. Stand by your man. Give him 2 arms to cling to, and something warm to come to when nights are cold and lonely. Stand by your man. The love you can. Stand by your man. Stand by your man and show the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
9:37 on the nose, Peter.
Here you go.
We're making things happen this week.
Yeah.
Today is September 11th, 9/11, 2018. This is the Den Ken Stomsky behind the
17
microphone.
years, man.
In front of the board, kitten of the keys. I'm a little hot. I'll turn myself down here.
I got over here.
Okay, then I'll turn myself back up.
Yes.
All right. And my side chick, Kathy Palmer, is in his house.
Be here.
Yeah. And guest this week is Dan Paquette from the library.
It's me again.
We're going to be talking about the Athenaeum and the latter half.
Athenaeum.
But didn't you just say it right?
No.
I think he said Anth.
Yeah, I said Athenaeum.
Always says Anth. He loves to do that to us.
I say it all the time, too.
He does it
Yeah.
to see if we can catch him.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear him drop the extra N in there for Anth. I thought-
Okay. Maybe it just my brain substituted it.
No, this time I because I had already said library, I said Athenaeum.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's twice in one broadcast.
I know, huh?
But every now and then
can be done.
I will throw Athenaeum out there and
Yeah.
you know just
And make me smile just
Yeah.
a little bit bigger.
and you know every opportunity I get to create a word, you know, I go for it. But right now it's not all about creating words. It's about creating problems for people and companies and whatnot. So I do promise.
I buy local, New Balance.
I do promise library stuff after 9 o'clock. Those of you listening right now, and if you are listening or even watching on Channel 15, and if you want to watch but don't get 15, go to westfieldtv.org, westfieldtv.org. You can actually watch what's going on. But if you are watching or listening, I want you to grab a pen and paper right now. Grab a pen and paper and write down this number. 504-294-7912. That's 504-294-7912. And why do I have you writing down that number?
Tell us.
Ken?
There's always a reason.
Okay.
You have one saved message. Saved message regarding your tax filings from the headquarters, which will get expired in next 24 working hours. And once it get expired, after that you will be taken under custody by the local police, as there are 4 serious allegations pressed on your name at this moment.
4 of them.
We would request you to get back to us
It's always
so that
4.
we can discuss about this case before taking any legal action against you.
Did you ever call
The
back?
number to reach us is
Oh, I called him.
504-294-7912.
Oh, hilarious.
It's usually a Jamaican dude.
504.
Yes, yes. And they say
294.
cops, not police.
7912. Thank you.
All right, so I invite all of my listeners just to bulk call.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's call
and
them
just
up.
make up a name and just waste their time.
One of the first things is,
All right.
how would you like to pay?
And I don't know. That came in on my cell phone. Nobody
Really?
has my cell phone number. I don't know how that happened.
I've only gotten
you know
the
what they do?
second
They
half
do
of that
random
message.
calling. They
Yeah.
do random calls, and they have bulk dialers.
Yeah. So
And
and,
they-
and,
until
and
something
it's like
picks
the
up, it just keeps going.
third time that came in to my cell phone, and
I
just
call them.
figured-
It's fun.
I
If you
figured-
have the time, I encourage everybody to do
Yeah,
it.
504-294-7912. That's 504-294-7912. Tell them that you just got a message and you want to make everything okay so that the cops don't come to your house and arrest you.
No. I didn't even say like they say like, well, what's your problem? I said, I don't know. You called me,
Yeah.
and they're like, and then they click. And then I call them back and say, I received a call from you. I'm trying to find out what's going on. And I says, can I talk to your supervisor? I just talked to you. Click. And then I just have fun with them. It's so much fun.
They hang up?
Oh, yeah. And so sometimes you get the FU and then they hang up. And yeah, it's so much fun because it's just some small little storefront down in the islands down there, and they're just collecting money for people who aren't smart enough to realize it's a scam.
Well, it's not just necessarily
Wait,
people that
wait.
are old enough. A lot of times it's
It's a
elderly
scam?
that don't know
Right.
what's going on, that they're taking advantage of a lot of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's happened in the
disadvantaged
city.
people.
And when I
uh,
worked at the police department, it's been happening for the last decade.
So I highly recommend, if you get a call like that and you're not sure if it's true or not, call your local public library. They're going to be more than happy to help you find out whether this is accurate or not. The local
Are
one
we
here,
sure
say
we don't want to call the cops?
413-568-7833. You could get right to the Westfield Athenaeum. And we'd be happy to tell you that's a scam. Please do not call them.
I do hope you've told your staff this.
We get calls on these kind of things.
Really?
Really?
Not necessarily as much this particular one, but other fake news or scams or other things people are finding out. Whether there was one that was out, only 2 people called us about it, but someone was actually trying to say they owed money to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And it's like, we'd never send you to a collection agency or anything like that. We'd not
Good
do
to
that,
know,
you
because I was one of those people. But
Yeah.
Oh wait.
So
my book
I'm
was
all
over
for
there.
people calling the library instead of the 911 number
goes my smile.
to ask about a fraudulent phone call.
Yeah. I mean, we may not know because there new ones always out there and about, but we'll try and figure it out. And usually you can tell whether it's a scam or not, but some people don't know.
If it's from Nigeria,
Right. If it's a king calling you
for money.
yeah.
My friends,
That's a
send
good
me
start.
4,000 first, and you can cash my $1,000 check.
Right.
So you only get the prince calling you,
The prince.
no, that's usually
called
that's
him
an
back.
email scam usually.
Yeah,
the prince.
I had one about
Which
one
was
on
also in
email
Florida.
that my bank account was frozen at some bank that I never even heard of.
In Tanzania.
Why on earth would you call those people back? What?
There
are
are
they
people that do.
thinking?
Yeah.
Well, some people forget about. I mean, there's so many accounts that are retirement accounts, things like that the state posts every year, but people forget about stuff like that. And especially if you're getting older and you forget about stuff anyways. And the other
unfortunately, our older adults they tend to be a little more trusting too.
The other biggest scam is I'm your nephew and I'm in
jail.
I'm in
I'm in
jail.
jail and I need money right
Yes.
away, and you need to wire it to me, and this is who number you call. And usually, if you look at the area code,
Thanks
the
for
area
not
code
helping.
is
It took me
the
a long time
islands.
to get out.
The area code's an island, or they spoof the number,
Right.
or they generate a computer generated number.
I
in
had
an
that
area code.
happen. I had a woman call my house and
413.
she left a message screaming at me. Don't you ever call me again. Yelling. So I called her back.
Right. Find
And
out
I
what's going on.
said, I'm sorry. I don't know what. And she was lovely to me. When I actually called her back, she was lovely. She said, I'm so sorry, but somebody keeps calling. And of course, I have relatives on the force. So I called him and I said, what's going on? And he said, that's what's happening. They're spoofing numbers.
Yep.
It looks like it's a local number.
They generate a caller ID.
Yes.
Yep.
And
to
it
go
looks,
outbound, and they can put pretty much whatever number they want.
Yes.
Technically, you're supposed to have possession of that number, because I ran the phone system. You have to have possession of that number to actually use that outbound, but people do it all the time for
Yeah.
nefarious reasons.
Right.
You have
And
to
she
look that one
was.
up in the library.
I mean, I was lucky because the woman was lovely to me, and she believed me. She didn't think I was just. I said no, and I said I will give you the number of this policeman to call and ask, and he will tell you. But she was just ripping.
Yeah.
Whoa! And I don't know what the phone calls were. I don't know what they were saying to her. I have no idea. Then I used to get phone calls from a bank account. Some woman had defaulted on the account and it had my number, and I kept calling the bank. It was a bank in Westfield that has a branch, and they kept saying to me, well, how do I know you're not her? I don't know.
How do I prove something that you can't prove?
I can't prove I'm not her, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It was funny, and that went on for a good year. They would call me. Good
Yeah.
year. And finally I told them, I'll come down. I'll come down to your bank. I gladly will. It's not me. I'm not Esmeralda, whatever. Who knew?
That would be a great name.
I could make up a name, couldn't I?
I think it's about that time, Ken.
Yes, it is. My reminder on my phone failed. However, I am paying attention to what's going on. 8:46 in the morning, Flight 11 is the first flight to crash into a tower. And at 8:46, it crashed into Tower 1. We'll do a moment of silence and then go to our underwriters.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise. all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
All right,
I do pay attention.
Usually, music goes along with that, but
you said underwriters.
I can jump right in.
Okay.
All right.
I was just following the lead I was given.
I actually, you and I are working a trivia thing in a few weeks, and I had some business to discuss with you, and
all right, next
I'll just do that during the next break.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe. Who knows? Now, things never work out as they should here anyway.
Fly by the seat of your pants.
That was a great shot from the back of
What
the
did he say? I missed it.
He said, I'm getting to realize that that's the way around here.
Where were you on the morning of 9/11?
Out at when the first one hit, I was coming out of a class at UMass. I had an 8 o'clock class, and then I was going, I think, to a crew. Like there was a
crew meeting,
not trying to get new students. So like they had a tent out and everything. Trying to get new crew members.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't want to go to my next class at 9. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But did you go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they didn't cancel any classes at UMass.
In 2018 they would. They just would have said no.
Yeah.
Just go home.
I think that's what they did at Salem. My daughter was at Salem, and they sent them home.
There were some.
But that was after everything happened because they didn't know where things were going next.
Well, yeah, you didn't know what was happening after a certain point.
Yeah, they didn't know. I was walking into school. I was teaching then, and unfortunately, we lost people from here that had family here. It was before the plane hit, but when I walked into school, I was already told that something was happening. So they knew the plane had been hijacked that early because I was coming into school like at 8 o'clock.
People were monitoring air traffic control.
Yeah.
The Boston ATC was busy because they had 2 planes that were going out of their area that were now unaccounted for.
And unfortunately, our past superintendent, his daughter was on that plane, and we already knew that.
Oh, wow.
So, already in school.
So I was I was getting ready to head out to work.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had the TV on, so I woke up to it just starting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that at that point in time I was working 10 to 6 and not 9 to something even earlier than 5 because that's how I roll now. But I was 10 to 6, so I saw the very beginning happening on TV, and I'd drive up to work, and, we had a retail establishment downtown Northampton,
mm-hmm.
a retail consumer electronics establishment that sold televisions. So we had our wall of televisions all turned on, and I think there were maybe 15 or 20 people that just came in to watch the television. And I'm walking in and seeing this. And I walked in just minutes before Tower 1 went down, which was 9:59.
Mm-hmm.
We had actually stocked a few television antennas. This is back before digital TV, when you could actually get a TV signal and and have it stick.
Yeah.
But we had a couple of indoor antennas, and within 15 minutes, they were all just wiped out so that people who were downtown could just stay abreast of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pete, where were you?
I was working the 4 to midnight shift, so I had gotten off, late, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping, and I got woken up by my friend Dwight, who was working for Flight 9 satellite services, and he woke me up and he says, "A plane just hit the tower," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Was it an accident?" And he goes, "I don't think so." Mm-hmm. He says, "You might want to get up and watch the news." So I woke up and started watching TV, and I actually saw the second one hit before any. The anchors are talking about the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm watching ABC, and I saw the second one hit, and I'm like, "Well, we're now under attack."
Yeah, that was
not even a question mark.
No question about it at that point.
And I had a class scheduled for that night at Longmeadow PD for prisoner cell watch stuff, and my buddy Dwight calls me again and says, "I need you to get to the shop to pick up a truck," I need you to get to what's the city? Jersey City. And I need you to get here as soon as possible. I said, "I have a mandatory class." He goes, "Well, when it cancels, it will. Get your butt down here," because my 2 days off.
Mm-hmm.
So sure enough, canceled. I called the chief and told him where I was going. He's like, "Go." So I drove down to Jersey City, and a drive that would normally take 2.5 hours took almost 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because everyone's
getting out.
closed.
Right.
Everything. And I didn't have a cell phone back then. I
And
went.
they weren't working anyway, half of them.
I went. So
there was no Waze at that time.
I get up to the truck in Jersey City at the Jersey the park over there, and I get in and go in the truck. He hands me the keys to the truck. He goes, "Give me the keys to your pickup," and I'm like, he gives me the briefing, and I says, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'm driving your truck back to the shop and picking up another truck and going to the Pentagon."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "All right." He says, "You're working for CBS. Here's the number. You're here. They know you're here, and you may or may not see a crew. Everything's fluid right now." So I'm like, "All right." I sat in the truck, and a couple people asked to use the decks to, look at log tapes, whatever. I don't care. It's all hands on deck. It's a national emergency at this point. And I got to about midnight, and I checked in with the national desk, and they go, "All right, we need you to move. We need you to go to St. Vincent's Hospital, which is 10 blocks from Ground Zero." And I'm like, "Well, how do I get across the Hudson?" And because everything, all the bridges, you listen to the news, all the bridges are closed. Mm-hmm. They're like, "You have to go up to the Tappan Zee." I'm like, "Okay." So I drove up one side of the Hudson on 9W. And then I drove across the Tappan Zee and down the other side of the Hudson. And I get to the 100, it's either the 99th or the 101st Street Bridge into Manhattan. And Manhattan's closed. I mean, nobody in, nobody out.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull up to a checkpoint, and the sergeant's like, "You can't go in. You're not marked. You're a private vehicle. Even though we know you're a satellite truck and we know you're working for a news organization, our rules right now say you don't go anywhere." So I had to call into CBS, and they had to work it out. And half an hour later, I'm driving down, and I get into the compound. They had given word down the checkpoints down the road so I pull in the compound at a block and a half from St. Vincent's, and the police officer says, "You stay with the truck. Don't go anywhere. Stay with the truck."
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Now the union guys show up, right, from CBS. And they're like, "Well, you got to run cable down there. We can't." I says, "Guys, see that guy over there?" He tells me, the guy with the M16, he says, "I cannot leave the truck." So I said, "Here's the deal. You guys got to make a decision right now, whether your union's more important or keeping your job is more important, because I can't leave the truck. You're going to have to run the cable." So they huddled for a minute, and they go, "We're going to run the cable." I was like, "Yeah, no kidding."
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was with the truck. We were on the air, and I no sleep at this point. Been up for 30 hours. And I was with the truck all day. And satellite time's expensive. And it was expensive back then.
Mm-hmm.
CBS goes, "All right, here's your assignment." And this was like at 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning. "You don't come off the satellite till like 11:30. I'm like, "Are you serious?" They're like, "Oh, yeah, you're up all day." Okay. So now halfway through, my crew shows up. I got a national crew. And they're saying, "We're going to be escorted to Ground Zero." Okay. So the guy with the gun now says, "You go with them, lock up the truck." I said, "I'm on the satellite." They go, "It doesn't make a difference. Stay with your crew," because now they're the credentialed media. Mm-hmm. So for 20 minutes, I was at Ground Zero. And the thing that I will never forget, A, the smell, and B, the sound of all the pass devices going off, which is a firefighter. It's a device, when they stop moving, after a certain amount of time, it goes off. And you've heard the noise on TV clips if you've seen it. You've heard that noise, but hearing that noise all around you echoing is just, it was eerie. It was eerie. And I'm like, this is the closest I'm ever going to come to a war zone. There's no doubt about it. In my lifetime, this is the closest I'm going to come to a war zone. And something that's ingrained in my memory. And I was there till well after midnight. Finally got relieved and went to a hotel. And the guy that replaced me had actually he was one of our other techs. And he was working a satellite media tour at 30 Rock. And there was a firefighter there on a detail. And the firefighter saw what was going on. They actually saw one of the planes fly over them at 30 Rock, is what he was saying. And the firefighter's like, well, if you're going there, you're going to bring me there because I got to help. And he ended up bringing that guy to his death. And it messes him up to this day. I haven't had contact with him in a couple of years, but I know he was still messed up by bringing a guy to his death. And that's the guy's job. I mean, you do your job. But, he was doing, I think he was doing ABC. And he was one of the guys that was within like 4 or 5 blocks. And it's just crazy. And Liberty State Park,
stuff was dropping off the building 6 blocks away. I mean, that was a dangerous area.
And at Liberty State Park, I met a guy who was, previewing, some of his tapes. And I don't know if you ever saw this, but there was a guy that was shooting outside a building, and all of a sudden you hear guys go, "Get in here, get in here!" And they're running through a building, and he's still rolling. He's carrying the camera, but he's still rolling, running through a building. It was all FBI agents. Saw this guy shooting outside, starting to come down. And if he had stayed where he was, he would have been on 6 floors of rubble. And he was starting to come to grips with that in my truck, like about 10 o'clock at night. And he was starting to emotionally and mentally break down. I said, there's a reason those guys pulled you in here. Just keep doing what you got to do. But, you got to, and he was working it out in the truck, but it was emotional seeing him watching himself being saved.
Right.
By these FBI agents. And it was one of the most powerful videos that I've seen since, or then or since. But I mean, that guy has literally said, I'm here because those guys yanked me in a building and we ran for our lives into the center of the core of the building, into a bathroom somewhere. But that was, it was an interesting day and a half. I was only there for less than 72 hours, and it was just crazy. It was, and then I tried to go back to the truck the third day because there was another guy working, and now the guys won't let me in because I don't have media credentials. They're like, you can't walk over there, and I'm like, all right. So I called the shop, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna pull you out, and we're gonna get you a car back to the shop, and you got to drop off something at CBS, and then you can head back. But I was like, that was just the most intense 72 hours of my life, still, and I've done some pretty cool things. But it was pretty wild couple of days. And a lot of Westfield officers after that volunteered in the days after and the weeks after to go down and help supplement the police force, going on the pile, things like that.
Right. Yeah.
So there was a lot of people that went down there.
I'm just waiting for 5 more seconds to go by so I could hit the top of the hour here.
Okay.
But we're not going to go into a break or anything right away.
Yeah, because we have another one coming up. That's the one that I saw.
Yeah, 9 o'clock, WSKB Westfield. So it is September 11th, 9:30 today. The Maine Fire Department. There's a remembrance ceremony. So this is the one time you are excused to stop listening to my show and go away.
Absolutely.
To do something else. 9:30 down to the fire department.
This afternoon at the Sons of Aaron.
Oh, yes.
6 o'clock, I believe it is.
That's where the memorial is for the people that Westfield did lose. So that's Sons of Aaron. If you are tuning in, I have a moment coming up in a few minutes, and then at 9:37, we'll pay homage to another flight. That's the flight that hit the Pentagon. So it was a crazy day.
Oh, it was a scary day.
September 11th, 2001.
Because remember, the plane, the military mission that's currently at Barnes Airport was on hiatus that day. And they were the planes that scrambled to try to intercept or ward off any more planes that were targeting buildings. And they scrambled from hiatus and made it to New York City in 2.5 minutes.
That would have been, not a fun ride, I guess, but
no,
they
but
usually don't get to scream across the country like that.
They flew combat air patrol over New York City that entire day, and it was the 103rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, those planes can get down there pretty darn quick.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, they're not usually allowed to fly that fast over
Correct.
the continent. You know, like so.
We're under attack.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I mean. Like it's.
I
must have been a different
I
feeling
think the
for them
total time from scramble to making it to Manhattan was, I think they said 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, but you know, half that time they're over water, so they can break Mach because they're not going over land. Which makes all the difference in the world, because I don't think even in an emergency, if they're over land, they can go over Mach.
Yes, they can.
They?
Yeah.
They can violate the rules.
Can
They
they?
are
Yes.
not
Yeah.
supposed to. I know that much.
No.
Not under
like
regular
not- yeah,
training
but if-
scenarios, but
Yeah.
they can break it in a activation.
And you'll know if they're going above you and they break Mach.
Yeah.
Believe
You'll feel
me,
it,
you'll hear the pop.
But what they try to do
and
is
then you'll feel it.
What they try to do is gain altitude to lessen the blow.
Right.
Yeah, and of course, how does that work? The higher they go, that also the less fuel they expend.
Right.
You know, so that's all. That's another benefit of going to a higher altitude. Problem: a higher altitude, less fuel, more time. So there are trade-offs with every situation. I'm looking at my clock on the wall, and I am coming up on 9:03. So, Pete, after this, I want to do a break and our underwriters to make up for 9 o'clock. 9:03 in the morning, Flight 175. That's the aircraft that went into Tower 2.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Noble Hospital, a brand new name for a Westfield institution which is improving the health of our community every day with quality and compassion. Noble Hospital and Bay State Health, better together.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group,
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Hey, Mom, watch. No hands. What happened? I just lost control of my bike and crashed. Only skinned my knee a little bit. Nothing too bad. Jesus H. Christ. My little baby. That's it. No more bike riding for you. Not today. Not ever. Mom, it doesn't hurt too bad. I love my bike. I just fell. It happens. That's it. I'm getting you a car. Wow, cool. I did not bring you into this world in order for you to be exposed to anything dangerous. I lost my figure for you. I ruined your father's life with my nagging. I will not see you die on some outdated contraption. I won't. I won't. I won't. I will protect you in any way I can. It's a mother's duty. I love you, Mom. Well, you need a car. We'll remortgage the house or do whatever it takes. I want you safe. And what better protection than an overpowered sports coupe you can drive when first experimenting with drinking and drugs?
The teenage years can be difficult and dangerous. Don't make them deadly. Don't let your teenager ride a bicycle. Be a mother, not a murderer. This is a public service announcement paid for by the Governor's Office of San Andreas in association with Maibatsu Cars of America.
Oh, boy.
9:10 in the morning.
Is there a Bernie sticker on the back of that car?
Hello, I'm a helicopter parent looking out for my little precious snowflake. What? Nothing? Nothing?
I can't imagine any parent actually saying that a car would be safer than a bike. Can't imagine.
Well, you know, never mind. I'll reserve that comment.
I have no comment. I'm going to let this slide, you guys. Go for it. Go for it.
Welcome, Dano.
Here's Dan Paquette, Westfield Athenaeum's Executive Director. Book 'em, Dano.
89.5 WSKB.
I will, Jay. I plan on
it. Did you plan that comment, or did it just come to you?
I've had to let it settle for a bunch of years. No, it just came to me. I don't know.
All these years now, and it just came to you.
Came to me, yeah.
So I hear the dust has finally cleared in Athenaeum.
It has, yes. We've, well, at least partially in some of the
settled.
We've reopened our reference room, so it's very exciting. It's a great day, you know. So it's sort of just a soft launch while the children's room's being finished.
Mm-hmm.
But once that's done, we'll
do a
have
full grand reopening.
Yeah, grand reopening, and have a big shindig for everyone who wants cake, I guess. Yeah, but the reference room people are coming in; they're liking it. It's funny when you just move things around. People are like, "Oh wow, you put up this mural!" Like, no, that mural's been there since 2010.
You can finally see it now.
I know. Somebody asked that on that reception you had. Somebody said, "Was this new?"
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, I was back there a few weeks ago because myself and Joyce, one of your employees, was, and it was just all open, and there were some, a couple of bookcases and tables there. And all right. I wish I could remember what it looked like before, so I could say something.
Right.
Because it was years since I needed to use a reference room, and as I'm getting more involved with things, I'm going to end up using it more and more and more. And I think I've just been avoiding it the past few years because of the renovation and the hassle. But it looked nice and bright and clean when I was back there looking for a place to film because the library has lots of great places to make videos.
Yeah. I think it's a great place and lots of history there, lots of fun rooms and nooks and crannies, so it'd be a good place to...
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to be down there again this Thursday. I'm filming with Harry Rock and a few other people from the 350 committee.
Yeah.
And that room up on the second floor just makes a great backdrop with the fireplace and the two chairs.
Yeah. If you need to borrow my smoking jacket and my pipe, let me know. I don't know.
Do you keep it up in your executive washroom?
Yes.
So what is that room called that I'm
That's
going
the
in
Whitney
there?
Study.
Whitney Study.
Yeah, so we have a lot of meetings and small event functions in there.
And why is it called the Whitney Study?
There's Milton Berle Whitney was one of the original founders of the Athenaeum in its glory 150 years ago.
Milton Berle Whitney?
Yes,
That's
is.
funny.
That's true.
Milton Berle, yeah.
I said it one time, and someone's like, Milton Berle, that can't be right. I was like, I'm pretty sure. So but they put that seed of doubt, so I went back and checked. It is definitely. So I'm confident now, 100%. That was his official name. Yeah, so it's named after him. There's a couple of our rooms are named after people that were instrumental in either the original founding of the library or the major renovation in 29. The Lang Auditorium was after Florence Rand Lang, and so then we also have the Jasper Rand, which was, I believe, her husband.
That's upstairs.
No, the Jasper Rand is the art gallery where the children's stuff is right now.
Okay, so when you walk in the main entrance across from Park Square, that's the area to the right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
right.
so that's usually an art gallery, still being used as a children's room right now. But the new shelves that we had built to match the original shelves in the original section of the house were just put in, and they got stained this past weekend. They look amazing. So just have to put the polyurethane on those, and then we can start putting the children's books back in.
Now, I think I was confusing it with another.
Then there's also the read room across the way.
Yeah, almost kind of across the way. There's like a study area.
Yeah, that's the Elizabeth Reed room where reference was until just a week ago. So now we're going to be moving the large print and audiobooks back into that area and putting it as still like a communal quiet study space. We have these two new study rooms that are opening, but that room we're going to try and keep quieter, where the reference room and the Great Hall, just they're so big and open, it's hard to keep those as quiet spaces.
I remember back a few years ago when we did the Westfield at Work calendar.
Yeah.
It was premiered there, and we had the slideshow going on in that room.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is a neat little room, and even though there were a bunch of us there and it was a public event, we were all just kind of, for some reason, just talking like this in that room.
Yeah, a lot of people still think like, I'm coming into the library, I gotta be quiet.
You have to be quiet in the library.
But that room actually has doors on it too, so we can sort of cut down some of the, the sound that's going to be out at the desk. So we're going to try and keep that room on the quieter side, and let people make a lot more noise. Well, not like hammering away on an anvil or anything like that, but like have conversations and talk and be on their cell phones and stuff.
And then you have upstairs.
There's the teen loft, and then
That's
above
beautiful.
that is the archives behind the glass. If you see when you come in the Great Hall, the top part is partitioned behind glass, and that's to keep that climate and humidity, the temperature and everything regulated, so it's good for the materials for keeping them good for archives and history and keeping them around for another 150 years.
Right. Now, is there more than just the art museum there? Is there another museum?
Well, then there's the historical museum. So outside of the Reed room, there's a set of stairs up to our history museum.
And that's the Edwin.
The Edwin Smith.
Edwin Smith.
Too many names now. I'm gonna get them all right. Yeah, the Edwin Smith Historical Museum. And so that has all the Westfield history from industry, important people, the schools, the canals, and everything. So.
Now, is that open along the same hours and times that the library?
No, it's only open 3 days a week, and only for limited hours. Just staffing wise, it's hard to keep it up and running, and with people who would know enough about the history of Westfield in order to be able to staff and answer questions.
I gotcha. See that, ladies and gentlemen? I promised we'd talk about the library. We're going to talk about some of the events coming up at the library. on the other side of the break, and then I'm going to play a game with you too.
Ooh, a game.
Yeah, I have.
Nothing says September 11th like a game.
No, I have version 4.0 of.
Am I the inaugural person or
no? You aren't.
You would have had to be at the Food Fest.
Yeah, we debuted it at the Food Fest. So we've already had plenty of people playing it. I got an idea of how people may go with it. 8:17 going on to 8:18. We'll be back right after this.
Friday night I crashed your party. Saturday I said I'm sorry. Sunday came and trashed me out again. I was only having fun, wasn't hurting anyone, and we all enjoyed the weekend for a change. I was stranded in the combat zone. I walked to Bedford style alone, even rode my motorcycle in the rain. And you told me not to drive, but I made it home alive. So you said that only proves that I'm insane. You may be right, I may be crazy. Oh, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the lights, don't try to save me. You may be wrong for all I know, but you may be right. Well, remember how I found you there, alone in your electric chair. I told you dirty jokes until you smiled. You were lonely for a man. I said, take me as I am, 'cause you might enjoy some madness for a while. Now think of all the years you tried to find someone to satisfy you. I might be as crazy as you say. If I'm crazy, then it's true that it's all because of you, and you wouldn't want me any other way. You may be right, I may be crazy. Oh, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. It's too late to fight, it's too late to change. You may be wrong for all I know, but you may be right. You may be right, I may be crazy. Hey, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the lights, oh, don't try to save me. You may be wrong, for all I know, you may be right. You may be wrong, but you may be right. You may be wrong, but you may be right. You may be wrong, but you may be right. You may be wrong, but you may be right. You may be wrong, but you may be right.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
9:23 here on this 11th day of September.
Look like you're about to sneeze.
In the year 2018, Anno Domini, this is Denkin's Den. You caught me, I was caught mid-yawn there.
Oh, I thought you were going to sneeze. I looked up and you were like...
Yeah, I got my eyes were kind of probably bugged out and and looking at you like you had two heads or something, but I was halfway in a yawn. I'm like, wait a minute, I need to open up my mouth.
Time waits for no one, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, sitting next to these two people for 2 hours just bores the living hell out of me.
Imagine sitting with me all day. That's what I got to struggle through.
But at least you have your pipe and your smoking jacket.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, with your wingback chair.
Right.
And we're not watching Big Brother.
That's true.
Talk about snooze. Oops, sorry. Did I say that? No.
You're really going to have to get into AHS.
Oh, dear Lord. And
No,
I have
I don't.
rehearsals. I'm busy. I'm rehearsing.
It's an awesome show.
All right.
And it has some of the episodes, or even seasons, I should say, have reference to Massachusetts. Matter of fact,
wasn't it filmed here or something, or one of them was?
One of them, the AHS Asylum, supposedly took place in Western Massachusetts at a
at Northampton,
at like a like one of those places. Yeah,
Belchertown.
Yeah,
actually, Belchertown. Most of the buildings have been demolished.
Yeah,
they're gone.
Yeah, further out,
most of them.
Gone
further out towards the Berkshires, they reference to it, and the city Chicopee, what was mentioned in one of the episodes on AHS Asylum.
I could just imagine like the actor being like,
Chicopee.
So now you have a mental institution which was also doubling as a sanitarium, and it was run by nuns in Western Massachusetts.
Ouch. That's a triple threat.
In the 50s.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, yeah. That was actually my favorite season. But, you had the asylum, you had the coven, you had the murder house, which was never titled Murder House until after other seasons came out. It was a one-time thing, and it worked. And the thing with AHS, for American Horror Story, it's the same actors every season, but they're playing a different role.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept.
And, they brought back Jessica Tandy. Not Jessica Tandy. Jessica Lange. Jessica Lange.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
She's old.
Yeah. Who's that woman from that Stephen King movie with the pig that she waxed over the guy's head? Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates is in it. Yeah.
She's wonderful. She had a show on TV for a while where she played a lawyer, and they were working out of a shoe store. Do you remember that?
I kind of remember that.
For very long, but it was a good show. She was wonderful in that.
Yeah. So there's some decent. Sarah Paulson is in it. The first season, the Murder House, the woman who went on to star in geez, that
memorable.
It's that
one. You know that one.
Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Connie Britton.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, she was in the first episode. I mean, so now the first episode, and it was the third or fourth. That was Coven, which took place at a witch house down in Louisiana. All right, down in New Orleans.
New Orleans. You got to say New Orleans. New Orleans. It's two syllables.
So at the end of the Murder House episodes, there was a spawn of several people.
Oh my!
And whenever you hear spawn,
I hate that when that happens.
Whenever you hear,
every time I spawn, it's
spawn.
Whenever you hear spawn, you know it's evil, right?
Yeah.
So
Evil
now
spawn.
this spawn from Massachusetts, the couple was from Boston in Murder House, and they ended up relocating across the country to the West Coast. But they are originally from Boston, so that's how Massachusetts keeps getting pulled back into the series. And then people from Salem, Massachusetts, went down to New Orleans. And that's how Coven came. So you can see how they're mixing a lot of this together. So now this series that's starting up this week on the FX network, AHS, and I forget what it was called now. But supposedly the spawn from the Murder House series or season has something to do with the Coven and things going on in that season.
It's getting heavy, Dan.
I just can't wait for
I know. I can see the excitement on your face.
AHS Big Brother season. Everyone in Big Brother gets
the spawn in the house.
Me and Bob have to have something to talk about. And, 2 years ago, it blew my mind that he even did Big Brother. But now, he mentions AHS today, and I'm like,
you're good. You're good.
So to quote Bob, oh my God. No, I really want to watch it and talk to them about it now.
That's funny. Yeah. That's funny. Springfield used to get mentioned a lot on the Law and Order shows.
Well, because every state has a Springfield pretty much, so it's easy to just drop it out.
They were referring to Springfield, Mass.
Well, no, I know, but there's like
Springfield,
9 Springfields,
because
right?
they would move. They would move on that corridor between New York to Boston.
Yeah.
So apparently, it's a notorious corridor of travel.
It is. Well, it's a crossroads of New England. Springfield's always been known as the crossroads of New England.
Oopsie.
Because it's 90 miles to just about everything.
And you even hear them. There were a couple shows where Lenny Briscoe even came to Springfield. I don't think it was the real Springfield.
Yeah, I don't think he actually.
No.
He's like,
well, just like the Springfield in The Simpsons is Springfield, Mass. Because
it's not Springfield, Mass. It was.
Yeah, but Don Hennig grew up in Northampton.
Yeah, but it was revealed 2 seasons ago that where it wasn't Springfield.
That was just a throw.
Didn't they? Yeah, didn't they have a big competition about that, and everybody was supposed to vote?
And they thought because one of the creators, one of the writers from the area,
it's from Northampton.
Yeah. It's from it has to be Springfield, Mass, but it wasn't.
Darn.
It's just to throw you off.
Yeah, I'm sure they did that intentionally.
But you're right. How many Springfields are there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's.
Yeah,
there's at least 4 Westfields that I know about.
9:30 and a half.
Calls for the Westfield.
Hey, Pete, I want to do just the underwriters, no music, so we can come right back and continue assaulting people's eardrums with our vocal presence.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiberhoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio, 89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
9:31 3/4. You blew it, Pete. You suck.
I can't cut any more out of the break, Ken.
I guess I could have manipulated it a little bit.
We could have lied. Nobody would.
You're very manipulative.
It's only 1 minute long. What how hard is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's going on at the library?
A lot of great things.
Speak now, Dan,
yes.
because you know
Moving
if
it-
you
moving around.
lose it.
Yeah.
You have 6 minutes until our next
No,
hard break.
I've got 5 minutes.
Okay, till the next hard break.
Yeah. So we have a lot of great programs coming up. One that's sort of fitting for today. Coming up, it's a little bit in the distance. It's October 10th at 4 p.m. It's about the Real ID, which is something that's getting more talk and visibility. So we're trying to help
If you
people
travel on
understand.
a plane, you really need one.
Yeah, what it is, why you need it. In this, actually, for fitting for today, all came out of September 11th, because in 2005, the federal security standard for IDs was created, which resulted in an increase in federal security measures after the September 11th
It was
attacks.
part of the 9/11 Commission report.
Yeah, so a lot of people need to know more about the Real ID.
So I fly a lot, so naturally I'm going to have to take care of that before my license actually expires, because it expires beyond the date where it's going to be required in order to fly, which is it 20 or 22? Do you have that
No, it's
information?
20.
I don't have it. I think
I'm
it's
pretty
20.
sure it's 20.
It's 20.
That's going off memory, though. I don't have it in front
it's
of me.
20. And it's not just for flying, it's for getting into any federal building as well. You need to bring additional paperwork to prove residency when you go to renew your license.
You need your library card. No, you don't. If we could get that.
I'll call the library and ask. Do I need my library card?
Right.
I've read reports where people have brought the required paperwork and they're being told, no, you don't have the right paperwork, even though it's the paperwork that's listed on the registry's website.
I've heard that.
I'm going to print out the websites and stuff and go, yes, I do.
Well, I read that somebody did that.
Good idea.
And they said, well, that's not the information I have. Sorry, you don't have what we need. Which
I'm not going twice.
Which is typical, state.
It's bad enough to go once.
Bureaucrat operation type stuff. But hopefully the proper information will be handed out at this.
Theoretically, I mean, the RMV is coming and doing it, so hopefully.
So it's
they're
the actual
handing
RMV.
it out. Yeah, they're having a representative come that knows all about it and should be.
I think by now they've probably gotten an earful of the miscommunication and the complaints regarding this program, because at this point in time, it's going into 2019. You're gonna have to have these if you're gonna fly or go into a federal building. Now, you don't have to get a real ID.
You can use your passport.
Yeah, you can use a passport as well if you have an active passport.
Yeah.
Mine expires in 2020 anyway, so I'm just going to get a new one next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2019, I'll be getting a new one for myself because I fly a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hopefully I won't be going into any federal. Ooh, does that get you out of jury duty?
Maybe on the federal level it might, but you'll still have to go, Ken.
But on the federal level,
you'll still have to go, Ken.
I'm sure they'll find a way to get you in for jury duty.
I don't mind jury duty. I get paid for showing up to it anyway, and oftentimes you get excused, and by the time you get excused, it's not worth it to go back to work. So now you have a weekday out and about in some other town. You go shopping, you can check some things out. In this case, you go to jury duty over in Springfield. You can hop over the bridge and go to Savers and try to find a.
Nowadays, you can walk across to the casino.
I think that is actually their marketing plan. Come to jury duty and get the afternoon off.
Yeah, and then go across the street and go shopping at Savers and try to find a used T-shirt for 50 cents. I mean, but yeah, Pete, you have a point. Now
Go to have lunch at the casino.
Now you have MGM, and unfortunately, if I had jury duty and I was excused for lunch and I had to go back, if I wasn't excused beforehand, I'd lose track of time if I went over to MGM, because we all know there are no clocks
The court officers would find you, Ken.
Do you think they'd actually walk out of the building and go looking for me?
They can issue a warrant for your arrest if you don't come back.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to start putting low jack on it.
What if I ended up, say, on Bridge or Worthington Street, and I got mugged and they clobbered my head? And
I think that would be excused, Ken.
Oh,
Move
okay.
along now, Dan. I told you, don't let it down.
There's something about an unwilling participant and a willing participant.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got that one item out, and I still want to talk about that because
got about 5 here.
I want to cover again when that event is going to be happening. But We're going to do, again, underwriters only here, Pete, because I've got things I want to do. It's 9:37 in the morning, 9:37, Flight 77 crashes into the Pentagon.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
9:38 and 3/4, Pete.
I know.
3/4. Well, that's better.
I know. All right. So when is that informational session on the Real ID?
That one's October 10th at 4 p.m. And it's also going to, I guess, be reprised at the Senior Center as well. We sort of tag teamed with them to offer it twice to everyone that we think might need this information.
I gotcha.
Another great program we have coming up that I think sounds really interesting.
Keep going.
Is Here Lies Interred. Never mind.
I got it.
That's,
Are you talking about my future here? Shortly?
Yeah. That's next Wednesday, the 19th. And so
I thought you here lies somebody interred.
No. It's a couple, Al and Betsy McKee. They bought a house that in Longmeadow that was built in 1801 by gravestone carver Hernan Newell. And so then when they bought the house, they wanted to find out more, and so they found out all these great stories and histories about gravestones and how they're made. So they're going to come do a talk on,
Nice.
the original appearance of graveyards and that photography, gravestone photography, the symbolisms, stories about the carvers, and then also stories about some of those things carved onto the stone of, what people try to put on as they remember their loved ones. So it should be a really interesting and neat program. So again, that's next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. at the library.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise known as the library.
Otherwise, by any of its names. I'll also say this Saturday we're showing Willy Wonka, the original one. That's Saturday the 15th.
The good one with Gene Wilder.
Yes.
Gene Wilder? Yeah, Gene
yes.
Wilder.
Love him.
Why Johnny Depp feels the need to keep remaking these great movies, I'm not sure. But
why does Hollywood feel the need to keep remaking these great
movies?
movies?
That's in general, but especially these ones with
Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Anyway,
another Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm. This is the original Willy Wonka, so that's this Saturday at 2 p.m. The teens also have a couple of programs. New Year, New You. That's on the 19th at 3:30, so that's for teenagers. But then they're also have another one of their writing workshops, which have been great, and they're having them in the Whitney Study, which is right outside my office, and I hear that all the time. They're having a really good time, so sometimes they'll get really quiet, and you can tell they're all writing or something like that, and then they'll go into discussion and reading what they've done, and they just sound like they're having a blast in there. So there's still a little bit of space. So that's Saturday the 22nd at 2 p.m. So if you want to sign up and join that, there's still some room there.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I'll say one last thing. This month's book selection is actually The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime. It was 2 months ago or whatever. We were talking about all of a sudden this book was one of the more requested items from the Westfield Athenaeum, and now I know why. Because it's the book
Broadway.
club selection. And it's on Broadway.
It
and
is
so
on Broadway.
all of a sudden it's had this renaissance.
Actually, if memory serves me correctly, which oftentimes it doesn't, a friend of mine from the theater had seen it on Broadway, and he loved it. He said it was fabulous. Said the man playing the key role was just amazing.
Yeah.
So,
now that I know it's on Broadway, I've read some reviews and they said it's really
Really?
well done. It's a great
Good,
show. So
good. Yeah.
Awesome. So in a minute we're going to go into a game, and we're going to jump right into the game. We're not going to play our normal intro music because I am running out of time. But before we get into the game, I want to bring to everybody's attention.
I'm astutely listening.
Yep. We are astutely.
Wile E. Coyote
my
movie
hero.
in the works at Warner Brothers.
No. All right. We are so going. We are so going, Ken.
The dialogue-free Coyote character first appeared in 1949.
Really?
And that cartoon, that episode was called Fast and Furious. And that was the first of 49 cartoons where he would chase around the Roadrunner.
I just need to make a note. Buy stock in Acme.
And speaking of Acme, the name of this movie with Wile E. Coyote is called Coyote versus Acme.
Oh, no.
So be on the lookout for the Wile E. Coyote movie.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that
We are so
awesome?
there. Yes.
Yeah,
we are
you
so
and
there.
I are going to go on a date.
We are.
I haven't been to a movie theater since 1988. All right, you and I are going to go
We
for
are
that.
going.
Trying to guess
When is it
what's
supposed
playing.
to? When is it supposed to come out?
They're getting into production right now.
So the movie
so-
theaters at the casino will be open by then,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they will show it.
1988.
Although that might be more fun at a drive-in.
1988. What was playing? Indiana Jones.
It was a Freddy Krueger movie that I
okay.
went to.
I'm wondering what the last time.
Yeah. All right, let's play a game.
Freddy Krueger or Jason? I'm just getting into the game early. I'm getting ready and getting myself prepped.
All right. So, Dan, you have played this before.
Okay,
This
yes.
is Ken's 10. Ken's 10 is a list of rapid-fire questions I send off in your direction. There are no right or wrong answers. It's just strictly your own humble opinion.
Don't let him kid you. There are right answers.
You will be judged heavily.
You will be judged.
We promise we won't judge. This is
No, we don't.
This is version 4.0.
I'll judge myself. Yeah.
Pressure.
Okay.
Number 1, baseball or football?
Football.
Think about restaurants here.
Okay.
King or clown?
Oh. Anything else? Is there,
Gotta pick one.
I'll go hungry. Can I say go hungry?
Wait, they got salads at both of them.
Judging.
Is that what you're
judging.
calling? Yeah, I guess I would say McDonald's, just because I like their milkshakes better.
The clown.
Fries are better.
Yeah, sorry, clown. I can't.
Yeah, I guess the fries are
Fries
vegan,
are
right?
so much better.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they are now because they used to use beef tallow in to fry the fries.
Oh, that's
and they
what
don't now-
happened?
and they are not allowed to use.
You know,
that anymore.
the nuggets used to be a lot better too. Number 3, Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, they're supposed to get Bewitched. I think.
That's one you're going to have to explain to some people.
I know. I know. I'm expecting that.
That little
And
nose
speaking
switch.
of I Dream of Jeannie, God rest the Colonel.
He died. Yeah,
Yes.
He passed.
Yes, this past week. Home theater or movie theater?
Home theater. It's not like I have a great home setup, but I'd just rather be home and not pay $20.
Cat or dog?
Dog. I'm allergic to cats.
I don't know how we're gonna. Well, I guess we're gonna find out how this one goes.
Okay.
Mayo or Miracle Whip?
Both, yeah, can I drop them off at the clown or the king and
Yes.
just walk away from both? I'll choose neither.
You can't. You gotta choose one.
Can't go there, huh?
Then I guess I'll go mayo. I guess.
That's what if people have to choose, they go that route. Yeah, just
Marketing.
No tangy zip.
It's all in the marketing.
the tangy zip of Miracle Whip salad dressing. RV or tent?
Oh, tent.
Sauna or steam?
Are they different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, one's a dry heat.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sauna.
You don't hang out in spas when you go to resorts or big hotels at all, do you?
There's not a lot of time spent at resorts on my life.
Go to a spa eating your mayonnaise sandwich.
You know,
Clown.
Dipping my fries in my mayonnaise.
this one's not suitable for Dan either.
See, Dan, you're unsuitable today.
I'm typically
We're boring and
unsuitable.
unsuitable. We're just batting zero here, buddy.
Sorry, brah. Cold cut grinder. Cold or heated?
I would do heated. even though it's only going to have vegetables on it.
Well, I saw
They'll heat it
that
up.
place, that vegan deli that makes it. You think it's meat?
Yeah.
On the Midwest.
Oh, where's that? Where?
It was on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives.
I not heard, but
Gonna go all the way out to the Northeast for a cold cut.
Oh, maybe you can figure out this. Open a franchise on here.
Yeah.
And number 10.
Oh, God.
Ken's 10 with Tampa Cat. Taco or burrito?
Burrito. For sure.
All right, and thanks for playing Ken's 10.
Yeah, thanks. Wow.
We made it through another one.
Made it through-ish.
And this one was stressful.
This one.
It was some thought into this.
Yeah.
I think. Or maybe, or not.
He came, it came kind of close to Harry, actually, on this.
Well, he's a good guy. I don't mind being close
There
to
you
what
go.
Harry's answering.
Yeah.
He is a good guy.
Yeah, he went with mayonnaise, he went with tent and the sauna and the heated grinder and the burrito. He did, however, prefer Genie.
See, that one's so tight.
Yeah.
They're both so great.
He's a dog person. He'd rather the movie theater. You'd rather the home theater. You are both preferring football, but he would rather go to the King, whereas you'd rather go to the Clown.
Yeah. Well, I'm a clown, so.
Yeah.
No.
9:48, Pete. Do I owe you a quarter of?
No.
Okay, that's awesome. We get to keep talking.
Awesome. Wow, I don't think this has ever happened.
Yeah.
that we let you talk? Or?
I actually kind of wish we had a break because I need to talk with Peter about how we're going to end this program.
I'll talk with Kathy. You guys do sign
Okay,
language.
we'll just chit-chat over here.
We can play a song, Ken.
I do have a question, though.
Yeah,
for
actually, let those two chat and just close our mics.
Okay.
I do have a question
Yes.
for you with the library. How long has this project actually been going on?
It started. It'll. By the time we reopen the children's room, it may almost be 2 years because it started
Wow.
October,
Wow.
2016. October 2016
And-
was when we first, closed down for the day to move everything off and then start taking out the.
How long did you
materials.
think it was going to take?
Well, part of it changed midstream. We added more things onto the project, which added more time, just because we said now's the time
Might
to
as well
do
do
it.
it. Yeah, I get that.
Originally, we thought it'd be like 8-9 months or so, and so then we
Okay.
added on a bunch of things, and then there was just slowdowns waiting for different contractors to get in and finish up. It was really the slowdown was a big part between when we removed some of the materials that asbestos and had that done, and then getting the fire sprinkler company in. It was just a bad time, and they delayed coming on and starting up the job. And then the other big slowdown.
Oh, I know
waiting
about
for
delays
the,
in construction, waiting for other things to happen.
Yeah.
I know all
it
about
is,
that.
it is.
I'm going through that right
you
now.
too. Yeah, you're
and
right.
then the other one was dealing with the lift company. They just dropped the ball and were 3 months behind schedule, and that
Yeah, you
held
see,
up a lot
I
of the
prefer
actual-
Uber over Lyft anyway.
Yes,
and that lift isn't even that complicated. It's
No, but they probably got
They-
scheduled out for things.
Well, there was many issues. One of them being that in the gentleman who took our order is no longer with that company.
Oh.
And he apparently never actually put in the order
Oh,
for one.
that's-
So then when it was
that's why he's no
supposed
longer
to
with
be
the
delivered,
company.
and we called back and said, "Hey, you haven't given us a delivery estimate." They're like, "For what order?"
And if I remember
Like,
correctly,
for all of this paperwork we have filled out and handed to you, that order.
you had a lot of local people that helped you to do this
Yeah.
too. Linda Saltis was there, and Jane, and they
And we tried
really
to work with
worked hard.
mostly local companies as much as we could. John
That's
Carlo
awesome.
Woodworking
Yep.
did a lot of work on all 3 of the new desks.
Mhm.
The children's and reference are in the circulation desk will be coming soon. We had Forest Construction, obviously, as the general contractor. We worked with King Brothers Carpeting. We've worked
That's
with
great.
New England Countertops. Just a lot of
Excellent.
different local people.
Giancarlo, did he?
That's not an exhaustive list. There's even more, but it's amazing.
Did he do that bench over in Union Station
He
too?
did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that
and he had
beautiful
been.
bench.
We wanted them to do a few other things, but they were busy with the casino and working overtime to get things in for that as well. So they've
Excellent.
been busy people over there.
And you've been
They do
busy.
great work, yeah.
Refresh my aged brain. When was this building originally built? Do you know offhand?
The original
don't. I
house
should know,
structure
but I
was
don't.
1838, I believe, off the top of my head. It was 1830s. I could be
Right,
off
the
on
Fowler
the
House, the Fowler Gillett
the Fowler
House.
Gillett House was the original one. And then 1927 they started. 1929
Okay.
they opened up the Great Hall. And then 66, they added on the 2
That's
boxy
right.
editions.
That's right. They added on. Oh yeah, that ugly. Yeah,
that's
I mean,
60s
that beautiful
architecture.
Yes, flat, square.
It was funny because I was
flat.
talking with like our architect, another local person, our architect Chris Carey.
Yes, he's doing our building too.
Yeah, he and I were talking. And I was saying, oh, I really hate that. 60s architecture. I like the more historic. Like what the other sections of buildings are like. Well, 60s architecture is now historic buildings as well. It's like
50 years old.
Yeah, so
you're right.
there are going to be people out there who'd be like, "Oh, I love that 60s architecture." I'm like, I don't know who those people are. Or what's wrong with their eyeballs? But that was just a dark days of architecture. I feel.
Well,
they had their reasons.
Well, no, the 70s were worse
Well,
because
yeah.
look at the police department.
Well, late 60s leading into 70s.
Big
was really
concrete
bad.
block.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at most of the UMass campus.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Big concrete block.
Yeah.
The steps.
HCC, all of HCC, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
The steps on the front.
on
Once
Court
you
Street?
go in through the
Or Elm or Court?
on Elm Street, when
Okay.
you go through the double doors, are those marble?
Yeah, I
What
believe-
or
yeah.
stone or
I believe
those
they're
are
marble, yeah.
Beautiful. They're gorgeous, and then there's marble downstairs that I'm guessing came from our quarries.
There's Westfield marble in certain areas. Some of it is not.
Yeah,
so a lot of
it
it is.
looks to me, although I looked it up, and
Most of the Westfield marble went to New York.
well, no, the tavern is Westfield marble.
I said
and,
most.
And the marble downstairs looks identical to what's in the tavern.
Yeah.
But I can't find anywhere that it's written that it went into the Athenaeum, and I don't know why that isn't written down, because it should be.
I know we have it in sort of like the upstairs restroom behind the circulation desk. I know there's some Westfield marble in there, and I believe there's some downstairs as
Downstairs
well.
in
But I
that,
haven't
in
heard
that
any
restroom. Yeah.
definitive word that definitely was.
I don't know, but it's beautiful. It really is. And then in the Athenaeum, if you look up in those concrete urns at the top,
Oh, yeah.
do those stand for something, or was it just decoration?
I think they were just. I've not heard that they've stood for anything. So if there is, it's been maybe lost.
I'm
to
just
time,
wondering
but I
why-
think they're just decorations. These huge urns up there.
Why they're there.
I don't know.
I don't
Bird
know.
baths. No.
Are you finding now that you have the back entrance redone? Are more people using that back
Yeah,
entrance?
yeah,
I
a lot.
always used it, but
Yeah, I see a lot of people coming through and really impressed with the way it looks and saying nice things. The city's
Well, it's
supposed
more
to be helping.
convenient, too.
Yeah, and hopefully someday we can work with all of the stakeholders and redo our parking lot with all the parking lots back there, since the city now has a lot. Berkshire Bank, United Bank,
Join
our
them all
lot,
up.
join them all up, and that we've had a couple meetings on, but the money is going to be the issue of finding who's going to pay for what and who's going to upkeep what, if and how it's going to work out.
Just
But
print more.
just print it. We've got books, so we can just use that paper, recycle it.
sure,
if
why
you need,
not? It'll work.
9:55 in the morning. I want to thank Dan Paquette for coming in this week.
Thank you for having me, as always.
All right, we're back to once a month now.
I know it's
For a
gonna be
little
weird.
bit.
For a little bit.
Making the list
Well,
is in October, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're not.
So
actually.
next month we'll see it twice again. Next week, Chef John Slattery is in his house
During Big E time.
Ooh.
and yeah, I guess we can talk about food
E
that we would
food.
eat at the Big E if we actually went to the Big E. I want to bring up the whole pie versus cake
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Pie
yes,
cake.
yes.
Remember that, Kathy?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I
Why
wanna-
not have both?
Yeah, cheesecake. All right, but it has a crust, which means it's a pie. All right,
Right.
And Boston cream pie has no crust. It's
Yeah.
it's so. Yeah, we're gonna get into that with the chef next week, and depending on how I feel about expending ink and paper at home, I may bring in a one of those contests again. Which means I need to act quickly on it so I can get Pete the PDF so that he can put it up on Channel 15 for people to play along, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of how that worked last. Actually, I love the way that worked out last time when we.
A lot of work for me, but it looked really good on TV.
Yeah. And people were actually really able to play along with that. And I think I've got about 8 magazines now that have quizzes in them. I think one of them is an autumn pie quiz. So I gotta go digging through that. I think I want to do
I
that
vote
on
we
next
just
week.
eat them.
The answer is always pumpkin.
No, it's not. I hate pumpkin.
I would rather
horrible pumpkin pie.
I hate pumpkin pie, but I can't get enough sweet potato pie.
Ooh,
Really?
I see.
Yeah.
You don't
See,
see
I
sweet potato
almost
pie
can't tell the
much. I
difference.
feel like you never see it.
Not up here, you don't.
Delicious. Yeah.
No, some of the supermarkets
south.
have it now and then,
Yeah.
but
Not as much as down south.
yeah.
It's on the menu in most restaurants.
Maybe
down-
it's the circles I run in.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You run in circles?
I do.
After you're here, you do run in circles.
2 weeks
I can
from
see
now, I have car guy Mark Whitney coming in.
Cool.
Talking about cruises happening over this past summer, things that help winterize your car, get it ready for the colder weather. But I also have Matt Emershai coming in because we're going to spend some time going over the history of Cadillac, seeing that.
Oh, he's talking cars.
Seeing that. Oh, yeah, oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
No
Strictly,
politics, cars.
No politics at all. Matt,
Very nice.
Matt is in here only and I have to give Matt credit. He knows a thing or
He does
two
know his caddies.
about caddies,
Yes.
and so does Mark, and I'm part of that club now. So I am going to be part of the Caddy Boys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Caddies are cool cars.
All right. Thank my listeners and viewers for giving another 2 hours of your life you're never going to be able to get back. And we're at that point in the show. 9:59 a.m. the first tower comes down. So I'm going to have a little bit of quiet air, and then we're going to hear a thing or two from Mr. Mike Rowe. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.
Oh, hey, America, how are you? How's your weekend going? Mine? Great. Thanks for asking. Got a story for you. It's a true story. It's a short story. If I can get it all together here, I'll read it for you. Here we go. This was told to me by a buddy of mine named Sean. Sean helps me out with the podcast once in a while. He's got a daughter named Charlotte. Charlotte has a friend named Lauren. Lauren and Charlotte play softball together in the 5th grade in a girls' softball league. And Lauren has a dad named Mike. You don't know Mike, but this is a story about him. And Sean told me this story about this guy, Mike, but maybe 6 months ago, and I couldn't shake it. It's just like a splinter in my mind. And whenever that happens for me, what I do is I write it down. And then I share it with as many people as possible. That's where you come in. You don't know Mike, but you're about to. And after this, I'm guessing you'll remember him too. You don't know Mike, but maybe you know how he feels. The Maplewood Leopards and the Kenwood Cracker Jacks have battled into extra innings. The score is tied at 9, the bases are loaded, and Mike's daughter is at the plate. The Leopards have a chance to bust things wide open. Wait for one you can hit, Lauren, and give it a ride. Lauren waits patiently to do that very thing, but alas, the pitcher lobs another brick high into the air. Lauren can only watch as it bounces 3 feet in front of her and slowly rolls across home plate. Ball 4. Coach Mike sighs and claps. Good eye, kiddo. Way to watch him. Lauren drops her pink bat and skips down to first base as Caitlin crosses home plate with a go-ahead run, and it occurs to Mike that sometimes all you can do is watch. 5th grade is the first year the girls are allowed to actually pitch to each other, and so far neither side has found the strike zone with anything approaching regularity. Charlotte steps into the box. Okay, Charlotte, wait for one you can hit and give it a ride. Charlotte watches the first pitch sail over the catcher's head. Ball 1. It's okay, Charlotte yells to the pitcher. Just relax. I'll swing at anything close. I promise. Coach Mike smothers a laugh and shakes his head. God, he loves these kids. And he loves this game. He loves it for the way it teaches teamwork and self-respect. He loves it for the way it reminds him of the way his own shadow used to creep toward third base late in the afternoon, all the way from left field. Mostly, though, he loves this game because baseball saved his life. As Charlotte watches another pitch roll over her shoe, Mike looks to the dark clouds stacking up on the horizon. He can smell the rain, a faint whiff of ozone on a gathering breeze. It's a smell that takes him back 15 years to a day that started off just like this one. The alarm clock had gone off at 6 a.m. Mike rolled over, kissed Ilana, ran for the shower. He liked to cut it close back then, but he never missed the 7:02 train and always wound up at his desk right at 7:55. In the office, a voice had floated across the cubicles that morning. "Yo, who wants Yankees tickets?" Mike remembers it like it was yesterday. "I'll take him," he says. Now, Mike's not a Yankee fan. Far from it. He bleeds Dodger blue. But if the Red Sox can whip the Bombers at Yankee Stadium tonight and keep Roger Clemens from his 20th win of the season, well, that would be something to see. Mike meets his wife after work, and the two of them catch the D train up to the Bronx. The stadium is packed, the seats are prime, but the clouds on the horizon are dark, and Mike can smell the rain. A faint whiff of ozone on a gathering breeze. Before Clemens can even take the mound, the sky cracks open and 50,000 fans are soaked to the skin in seconds. Mike and Ilana have never seen anything like it. This isn't a rainstorm, it's a waterfall, an Old Testament torrent of biblical proportions. They laugh and run for cover and watch the deluge in wonder. Sometimes all you can do is watch. Then a voice cuts through the sodden crowd. "Hey, Mike, is that you?" Mike spins around. It's Bob, his best friend from the second grade. And it's unbelievable, really. After all these years, what are the odds the two kids from Bakersfield would meet 3,000 miles from home in the middle of a monsoon at Yankee Stadium? Mike and Bob celebrate the unexpected reunion with a few beers and wait out the rain. But the rain doesn't stop, so a few beers turns into a few more, and when the game is finally called, the celebrating continues back at Mike's apartment. And when the alarm goes off the next morning at 6 a.m., it's not pretty. Bob is snoring on the couch out in the living room, and there's a small man in Mike's head running around with a big drum. You don't know Mike, but maybe you know how he feels. He works his butt off every day. He gives 110%. He never complains, but today seems like a fine opportunity to sleep in. So Mike unplugs the alarm clock, and for the first time ever, takes the morning off. A few hours later, Ilana shakes him awake and pulls him into the living room. Bob is still on the couch, but no longer snoring. He's watching some sort of disaster movie on HBO. Except it's not HBO, and it's not a movie. Mike sits down next to him and tries to make sense of the smoldering hole in the side of the World Trade Center. What the hell is going on? Across the street in the South Tower, 1,000 feet up in the air, the same question is being asked in Mike's office. Loved ones are calling, sick with worry. Are you guys safe? Are you guys watching this? Yeah, they say, we're watching. A plane crashed into the North Tower. It's terrible, but look, we're fine over here. Don't worry. 66 of Mike's friends and co-workers remain on the telephones, putting friends and family at ease. 16 head straight for the elevators. 16 make it out of the South Tower before 9:03 a.m. 66 do not. You don't know Mike, but maybe you know how he feels. Sitting there on his couch, he watches the second plane fly into his office. He watches the flames spread, and he watches the people jump, and he watches the towers fall. Because sometimes all you can do is watch. So Mike watches every terrible second and vows to never, ever forget. 15 years later, Mike is still a Dodgers fan, but every September he takes his girls up to the Bronx to see a Yankee game, rain or shine. Oh, and if you're wondering, the Maplewood Leopards lost yesterday's game to the Kenwood Cracker Jacks 14-13 in the bottom of the 12th after their relief pitcher walked in the winning run and the rain came down in buckets. Tough way to lose a game, but Coach Mike didn't mind. In fact, he took the girls out for ice cream afterwards to honor the game he loves and celebrate the extra innings. Anyway, that's the way I heard it. Now, you know Mike. Don't forget him.